Let's talk about a friend of the show, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is unique because of what went down. So Alex Rosen runs Predator Poachers. And if you haven't seen the interview that we had with him a couple of weeks back, go look at that on the channel here once we're done. He's a very interesting dude. The long and the short of it, he's dedicated his life to going out and finding people who prey on our children.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of people don't like him for a couple different reasons. He's very outspoken in his politics, which ticks some people off, and he also busts some people that probably the world wouldn't like him to bust. Which is an example that we have here. This from Scanner News. He is also a friend of Timcast as well, but who runs? Well, he doesn't run Scanner News. He has a monetary interest in Scanner. But anyways, head of LGBTQ Maryland Democrat group confronted for allegedly sexting underage boy. This was the catch he did. I think it was Saturday night.
Oh, okay, so fairly recent.
And he warned everybody going in that this one will probably make the news. He was not wrong. There's been several outlets that have actually covered this. But the alleged predator's name is Michael Knappen. And I want to stress alleged for this reason. As of this time, as far as I know, the police have not gotten involved with this case.
Okay.
Which is not surprising. Maryland is another one of those states where the chat logs with the decoys that he used do not count. In Maryland, you have to, if there's a decoy used in situations like this,
Has to be a cop.
it has to be law enforcement. And Alex is a private citizen. But he goes into these things hoping when he confronts them that he'll be able to suss out some other things that do count. Like CP, for example.
Right.
But that wasn't the case here. But anyways, Michael Knappen said, I thought it was very thrilling to have a conversation, and I never intended to actually meet in person. The article goes on, the head of the Maryland Democratic Party LGBTQ plus Diversity Leadership Council, Michael Knappen, was confronted. We know that. Rosen, who leads Predator Poachers out on Rumble, has gained prominence in recent years as he is his team have been conducting Chris Hansen-style sting operations. I disagree with that. Nothing that he does I would call Chris Hansen-style.
No, I would agree.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because Chris Hansen was always about a sting house with all sorts of NBC level camera work and everything else. Yeah, no, it's on Dateline, exactly. So this is different.
This is a little bit more raw.
Yeah.
It's in the spirit of it, I suppose, but not exactly the same.
Yeah.
In their operation, Rosen and other members of Predator Poachers posed as a minor on social media. Knappen, who'd served as the Diversity Leadership Council head since last fall, was the subject to be confronted. This was June 20th, so this past weekend. In the video, Knappen admitted to fantasizing about having a sexual encounter with a 14-year-old boy.
Ooh.
I thought it was thrilling to have a conversation, never actually intended to meet in person. Adding, he seemed to enjoy it, meaning the boy he was talking to. Knappen also acknowledged that he engaged in, quote, very inappropriate conversation with the decoy and admitted sending photos and videos of his stuff.
Ooh.
Rosen pressed Knappen by asking him what was interesting or provocative about his interaction with the 14-year-old, to which Knappen said he found it flattering that a younger person was interested in him. He then admitted to giving his home address to the decoy and acknowledged he invited the 14-year-old to meet multiple times.
Ooh.
Creepy.
Rosen discussed Maryland law enforcement's lack of involvement in the sting operation, noted his team had originally brought Knappen to authorities last November. If I understand it correctly, that's not entirely true. It was a different team that brought it to their attention in November, but I could have that wrong, so we'll run with what the article says. The law enforcement reportedly didn't want to do anything with it. He also noted that although Knappen admitted on camera to sending the material, Maryland law does not recognize the sting, which I'd already explained. He said, we're still going to turn all of this over to the cops, but calling to the scene would have done nothing. Rosen later on his X account shared Knappin's visitor log from the White House, where he visited 3 times.
Oh.
So, I don't bring this up to, and I know I'm going to get accused of this, I don't bring it up to be sensationalist because this is some head of an alphabet organization or anything like that. I more bring it up because, quite honestly, this is, and we talked about this when we had Alex on, this is at like all levels.
Yeah.
It's all levels, it's all orientations, it's all income levels, it's everywhere, it's rampant, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's
Definitely concerning.
Oh, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
I've got my adult daughter here now, and I've got my almost adult son here. I can't imagine either of you being small children in this current environment.
Oh, yeah.
With the internet the way it is, and how so many people are preying on so many young children. And it just, one of the things I talked to him when we had him on was, I told him, I said, you just are not short for work. And he admitted that he could be out there, if he didn't have to go home to tend to other things, he could be out there every day.
Yeah.
Just catch after catch after catch. But, I think it shows kind of the degradation of our society. And something you've said before, everybody needs Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of come to that point. I mean, because you can, again, it's not that he's from the alphabet community, and I don't say alphabet community to be insulting, by the way. I trip over the whole acronym every time, and it changes too much, so I'm trying to shorten it. But it's not that troubles me as much as somebody who is out there with White House access.
Yeah.
Is doing this. Now, is that necessarily surprising? I don't know. I will say this, there's video evidence of Biden really weirdly sniffing a bunch of children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That, and you could probably go back for years and years and see all kinds of weird stuff that's happened between government officials and other people. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say this is inherently a surprising thing.
No. There's always been perversion. There's always been weirdness. The problem is now we have the internet to make it all so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's internet, social media. I mean, if you want to do it, there are a million different ways to do it, and that's disturbing on many levels.
Yeah.
It's not just that it's made to be easy. There's people out there championing it. There's people out there saying this is okay. This is the exact same as a man loving a woman. No, it is not.
No.
Well, the first thing we do when we want to champion something and make it mainstream is we change the language around it.
Yeah.
And this happened back when I was about your age, Megan. It went from sex to gender. And just changing that one word opened up all sorts of possibilities because it was no longer a binary. Mm-hmm. And I remember when it happened. It happened on forms. That was the first place where it happened. You used to mark your sex, male or female, when you were filling something out. And then they changed it to gender. Mm-hmm. But gender refers to the sexuality within language. That's the origin of that word. So like in French, for example, words are masculine or feminine. Yeah. German, it's masculine, feminine, and there's
neuter.
A third. Neuter.
It's a generic.
I think it's Swahili, one of them from Africa that has like 16.
Oh, wow.
So there's variance within language, but when you opened it up to people, then the floodgates come open. Now, in this situation, we used to call people like this alleged person here, we used to call them pedophiles.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we've changed that language, and now they're called minor attracted people.
Yeah, minor attracted
They're maps
person.
now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which just makes me think of Dora the Explorer.
God.
That's
Lord.
So you alter the language, and then that allows the floodgates to open up more and more to make things more mainstream and acceptable. And at some point, we have to draw the line and say, this is not acceptable.
Yeah.
I'd like to draw the line right now, dear audience. This is not acceptable. Disagree with me? Feel free to say so in the comments. Agree with me? Say so in the comments. There has to be a line where you just say no more. And it's disturbing to me that I don't think it's half the time. It's probably about a third of the time Alex runs into situations where the cops just don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And the local DAs and prosecutors don't want to do anything. Either because they don't want to take the civilian help because there's pride involved, or they agree with what's going on, so they want to just sweep it under the rug, or I don't know. But until we get to a point where these laws start to change, and I know Alex has been working on it. I know in Pennsylvania, which has the same law, he's making a push with some people to get things changed so that they can start using the civilian evidence. But even then, we can have civilian evidence all day long if we don't start making better people. You know, like we said, people need Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and join us every Monday and Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific for our live show.